Hi, welcome to Worksest. Today I want to share two analogies with you. And analogies are great. Analogies help us really think about the essentials of a role because that's the way that analogies work. They tie one thing to another different thing by focusing on key essential elements that they have in common. And that's really important when you're trying to remember what it means to be a good leader or a good manager. So I have one for each. For a leader, the analogy that I've come to recently that I really like is the leader as a gardener. So if your team is your plants, you can't do that work. And some leaders, some of the time, may have the ability, but I like this analogy because it reminds you don't have to have that ability. What you need to do is enable your team to do the work themselves, which is what the gardener does. They set things up so that the plants can grow and produce beautiful flowers and fruits and vegetables. The way that they do this is by weeding or removing barriers, making sure that their team can do their work, but also by supporting them in growing. So giving them the materials that they need, the water, the fertilizer, all of that, but also sometimes scaffolding. And this is really important if you're leading a team, is that sometimes for everybody, you're going to need to scaffold them. You're going to have to help them in growing by giving them a structure to grow up. And there's all sorts of plants you have to do that for. And if you don't give them that structure, they don't end up growing. So I think that this has a lot of really great elements, but the most important one is the fact that the gardener does a lot of work, but none of it is the work that's being evaluated on. They get evaluated based on how well their team succeeds. For managers, I think that managers are a lot like conductors in a symphony. The conductor has one main job, and that's to keep everybody on time. And this is really what management is about. It's about keeping people together and stewarding your resources to make sure that a project is completed in a sensible way. The conductor may also be helping pick out the project, which may be the manager's role, but they're really helping their team go from some vision, the original composition, into the actual performance, the final product. They're making sure that everyone's working together so that that final product is a good one. This is a really important role, and like I talked about in my last video, some people downplay the importance of managers. They talk about it like it's a bad thing, and it's not. Managers are important, and so are conductors. Although, of course, you can be kind of a pain when you do it. That's where leadership skills can come in and be really handy, even for the management role. I hope that these analogies inspired you to think a little bit differently about both of these roles, but if not, please share yours. Everybody needs a good analogy, and different ones are going to resonate with different people's leadership and management styles. So I encourage you to share them below in case they resonate with somebody else out there. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.